Tonight at 5, we're learning new details after a woman was tackled and sexually assaulted on a popular bike trail. Police are still looking for the suspect.
Plus, why some states are working on legislation that would limit teens' use of social media and require parental consent to use the apps.
And as the U.S. lawmakers look to ban TikTok nationwide, we're taking a closer look at what restrictions would mean for local communities. You're watching News 3 now at 5. Well, roads are clear right now, but that will change for much of southern Wisconsin by tomorrow morning.
The weather is a big story today. An overnight alert day threatens to bring several inches of snow to the area. A few communities have already issued snow emergencies ahead of the storm. That includes Evansville and Marshall. That means no parking is allowed on city streets. Violators could be fined and towed. So let's get the latest on the forecast. Julian Seawright is out on the weather patio with more. So nice out there today. It's hard to believe there's snow coming, Julian.
I know, Susan. Today is quite a deceiver because in the next 12 hours, we're going to be seeing a completely different story. So let's get right into it. Our first warn alert day, accumulating snowfall is going to start late overnights for us. A little bit after midnight, and we're going to be expecting 1 to 6 inches of snowfall. But the heaviest bands of snow and accumulations will mainly going to be to the southeastern corridor of southern Wisconsin. So that'll be from areas just east of Rock County and especially Jefferson County in itself. But even for around Madison, we could see between 4 to 5 inches ranges for us once this is all said and done. The good news is this is mainly going to be our Saturday morning. Once we get into our afternoon, we are anticipating some improvements. Here's a look at our snowfall potential. Again, 3 to 6 inches, but there's a very sharp cutoff for our friends to the west. This will be from the Grant County areas and just a bit more towards Richland, where we're going to be seeing that cutoff of snow, where they may just see about an inch and maybe even just 2 inches once this is all said and done. But for around Madison, 3 to 6, and then the further southeast that you go towards the Milwaukee area, especially closer towards Lake Michigan, could be seeing a bit more snowfall. And that's also where the area where our winter storm warning is in effect, mainly into that southeastern corridor. Again, for everywhere else, we're looking at that winter weather advisory to be sticking around from 4 a.m. Saturday until 1 p.m. going into our Saturday afternoon. And the timing of it, we're going to see it start around 3 a.m. being much more widespread and then getting into later parts of the rest of southern Wisconsin into our later morning around 8 o'clock. So the morning is definitely going to be a bit of a hassle, but for tonight, at least it's going to not be too much of an issue until we get into the overnight hours. But we're going to break down everything you need to know in terms of the timing and when you could start to shovel that snow coming up in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
I'm not sure it's going to melt. Stay up to date on conditions in your area on our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather. Well, the Dane County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding a man accused of sexually assaulting a woman while she was on a walk.
The attack happened yesterday just after 5 p.m. in the town of Oregon. Tahlil Modine spoke with police and area residents about the incident, and she joins us now with more. Tahlil?
Mark and Susan, neighbors I spoke with say they are especially angry because of how brazen the attack was. It happened in broad daylight. The victim told police she was walking on the Oregon Rotary bike trail just off of Highway D when a man ran at her. The stranger then tackled the woman to the ground and sexually assaulted her. Neighbors say the attack now has them questioning their own safety.
I thought it was pretty safe. I guess after what happened yesterday, there's questions. Nobody should have to have somebody walking with them or whatever. They should be able to walk alone, run alone, or do what they want to do.
Police say the woman was eventually able to fight off her attacker, and when she ran to get help, he fled to a nearby parking lot. Police believe he left the area in a car and are asking for help identifying it. They say the suspect is a white male about 5'10" with a slender build. He has short dark hair and a short scruffy beard. At the time, he was wearing a neon yellow hoodie. After managing to get away from the attacker, the women did find help at a nearby home. Tonight at 5:30, we'll hear from that family who helped her.
We will see you at 5:30, Tahlil. Thank you. Well, she is no stranger to the role when Sarah Godlewski was appointed Wisconsin's next Secretary of State. She just had to move a few doors down from her former office as state treasurer.
But where does she plan to take the office for the rest of her nearly 4-year term? Political reporter Will Keneally sat down with her and has more. Will.
That's right. So the Secretary of State's office has a very limited role from the stuffy basement office that houses it. The most interaction that you might have with that office is if you look closely at a governor's executive order. At the bottom, you'll see the state seal stamped by the Secretary. A shrinking office and lack of resources is what led former Secretary Doug LaFollette to step down. But stepping into the role, Godlewski says that she has no such trepidation.
One of the things I've learned as serving as state treasurer is always about the person and doing with the role what you can. And so to me, I'm looking forward to rolling up my sleeves and, again, traveling the state, meeting with folks to really figure out how we can best serve people.
So Godlewski also steps into this role amid calls from Republicans to hold a special election to fill a seat instead of having the governor appoint her. The legislature passed a resolution this week calling on the governor to do so. But Godlewski isn't shaken by that, saying that it's just the governor's prerogative to fill those vacancies when they come up. You can hear our full conversation this Sunday on For That Record, airing right after Face the Nation.
All right, well, thank you. We'll see you then. We are learning new details about 2 U.S. airstrikes on terrorist groups in Syria. President Joe Biden ordered the strikes after a drone strike killed a U.S. contractor and wounded 5 American service members yesterday. American officials say that the Syrian groups who carried out the attack are affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard, and the drone used in the attack was made in Iran.
We certainly don't seek a war or a conflict with Iran. That's not the goal. We're there to go after ISIS. But we have to do what we have to do to protect our people and our facilities. And that's the decision-making that the president made last night.
Syria remains locked in a civil war which has been going on for the last 12 years. Iran is one of the few countries supporting the Syrian government.
New at 5, a busy highway in Maryland was shut down for hours this morning after a tanker crash sparked a massive fire. Crews say the 8,500-gallon tanker crashed and overturned around 6 a.m. The driver was taken to a hospital and is in critical condition. It's unclear what caused the crash, but people who live nearby say they heard a loud noise before crews arrived.
It was a big, scary bomb sound. It like someone threw some bomb or something happened. It was so scary.
The fire is now out and no other injuries were reported.
A movement to limit teens' use of social media is gathering momentum. Utah's new law will require a parent's permission for children under 18 to sign up for certain sites. Michael George tells us other states are poised to follow suit.
Utah is the first state to limit teenagers' access to social media, with a new law requiring parental consent for platforms such as Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok.
As leaders and as parents, we have a responsibility to protect our young people.
Several other states have similar bills in the works, including Ohio and Arkansas.
Cyberbullies, inappropriate material, adults who prey on children, they're all accessible on these platforms, just a simple click away.
In New York, parents see the possible harm from social media, but stopped short of wanting it banned.
It's like playing sports. I mean, it can be dangerous, but it can be also very helpful.
I don't think we should be banning it. I think we need to be educating and showing that there are some really good sides.
Clinical psychologist Jacqueline Sperling agrees that educating children about social media is more important than limiting their use.
Research has shown it's not the amount of time necessarily per se that one spends on the app. It's really about the types of use. And I think that's really where I think the education can be really powerful.
The movement to limit social media comes as TikTok faces threats of a ban in the U.S. On Thursday, lawmakers grilled the app's CEO about harm to children.
Mr. Chu, your algorithms have prioritized providing harmful content directly to children, like self-harm challenges and even suicide.
Utah's new law takes effect next March and includes a curfew banning minors from using social media accounts after 10:30 at night. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
And a quick programming note as the NCAA tournament continues. Tonight, CBS will be airing coverage of the games. That means News 3 Now at 6 will air immediately following this newscast at 5:30, preempting the CBS Evening News. News 3 Now at 10 will air at the conclusion of the games, probably around 11 p.m. And speaking of, let's see how our bracket is faring in our News 3 Now bracket battle.
After the first round of the Sweet 16, Susan and I are doing pretty well. Somehow, we're tied with the morning show in first place with 44 points. Sports director Zach Hanley is in second place, and Charlotte and Eric are stuck in last.
So tonight, we're rooting for Houston, Alabama, and Xavier. We have to figure out how many teams our competitors still have in the bracket.
There's got to be some malfeasance that we're in first place.
We're as shocked as anybody.
Text at 5. Julian tells us what to expect as an alert day moves in later tonight.
Plus, how nationwide TikTok restrictions could impact communities here in southern Wisconsin. We'll have that story after the break. And later, how the newest staff member at Milton Schools is bringing smiles to students' faces. We'll introduce you to Hazel tonight at 5:30.
Love the name. And on Wall Street, an up day. The Dow Industrial is gaining 132 points. The NASDAQ up 36. The S&P 500 up 22. And we'll be right back.
Celebrate Ashley's anniversary with our lowest mattress prices of the season. Get your best night's sleep on Purple, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, and more. All backed by our 30-day price guarantee and special financing options that fit your budget at Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer, Ashley.
After I was robbed and my girlfriend was beat up, Janet Protasewicz was the prosecutor that went after those criminals. Those fools were on a violent crime spree. Janet prosecuted them case after case and brought those criminals to justice. I saw her work up close. She's compassionate, she's fair, and she believes in public safety. On the Supreme Court, I know she'll fight for you because she fought for me. Janet cares about us.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today. Patio enclosures. Memories matter. This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
At Lawton Cates, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after an accident or return to the job following an injury, we fight the odds and the insurance company for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
All right, team, we got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it. 4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com.
Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint, for certain. Get the absolute best pricing now during Ashley's anniversary event. We've marked down everything to match online prices, all backed by our 30-day price guarantee. Get your choice of 6 months interest-free financing or low monthly payment options and free local delivery, only at Ashley.
We have a first warn alert day in the forecast for snow that's looking to impact your Saturday. We'll break it down coming up.
Then, Dogs in Class. We speak to a local school joining the movement of therapy animals in classrooms tonight at 6.
The candidates for Madison mayor face off. News 3 Now, channel3000.com, and the Cap Times present a debate between Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and challenger Gloria Reyes.
Watch live streaming Monday at 7 p.m., replayed Tuesday at 4 on News 3 Now.
The CEO of TikTok defended the social media platform for more than 5 hours at an appearance on Capitol Hill this week. With the future of the app being questioned, what does this mean for those of you who might find yourselves constantly scrolling at home? Our Catherine Merck spoke to some of our local experts about what a restriction for the platform would mean.
Some of the country's lawmakers think time has run out for one of the most downloaded apps.
Your technology is literally leading to death.
And our kids are at risk on your platform.
This Madison College professor says TikTok is part of what he teaches students. Lately, he's been hearing their concerns about the app's future due to security questions.
Students hear the word ban and they think that they're going to lose access to their favorite social media app, TikTok.
It's not.
Steve Knowles says he thinks the data from TikTok isn't that much different from information you likely give other social media apps.
The average person really should not be worrying about this, other than the fact they should understand that social media apps are looking at your consumer behavior with the intent of giving more targeted advertisements.
While these nationwide conversations about a ban might sound concerning for this app, he says it's not very likely that this app is going away for everybody anytime soon.
The amount of viewership of the app that potentially could drop from, more restrictions, not bans, restrictions, is going to be so minimal that I don't even think it'll be noticeable.
These conversations are going to continue at the national and local level. In the time being, it's important to know what comes from downloading these apps and what you give TikTok when having it on your phone.
I'm willing to, take that risk so I can watch the funny little TikTok videos. So, but again, I'm not dealing with nuclear military secrets.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
We've already seen some of this play out in our state. Governor Tony Evers signed an executive order banning TikTok and several other technologies from Wisconsin state devices back in January.
Well, esteemed primatologist and conservationist Dr. Jane Goodall will be speaking at UW-Madison this weekend, and we had the chance to speak with her today to preview the event. Sunday, she'll speak about her time in Tanzania and the effects of climate change at a free event at Memorial Union. Today, she shared why it's so important that humanity learns from and works to preserve the world and the life that inhabits it.
If you look at that complex ecosystem as a beautiful living tapestry, every time a species from that particular ecosystem disappears, it's like pulling a thread from the tapestry. And if we continue to pull threads, then that tapestry will hang in tatters and the ecosystem will collapse. And that's happening.
Tickets to the speech are sold out, but you can watch a live stream of the event when it starts at 7 o'clock Sunday night. You can find that link in our article on channel3000.com.
Welcome to Madison. Well, if you looked up at the sky in Dane County late last night, you're one of the lucky ones, and you spotted a surprise.
The Northern Lights made an unexpected appearance over much of the northern tier of the states. Actually, they saw it all the way down to New Mexico. Take a look at some of the photos and video we received from viewers. They highlight stunning shades of green and purple across the night sky.
These beautiful displays of color are caused by solar winds disturbing the Earth's magnetosphere. The lights were particularly impressive because of a severe geomagnetic storm that was impacting the planet. I missed it.
I missed it too. Julian, did you see it?
No, I was asleep, and I'm so ashamed because that is still on my bucket list to see that, but maybe one other day. But let's get into it, folks. We are ending the work week with sunshine, but we're going to have the weekend begin with some snow. So taking a look at our alert day, we are starting from late tonight, mainly after midnight, starting to see our alert day going into our forecast for us. We're going to be expecting 1 to 6 inches of accumulating snowfall for much of southern Wisconsin until we get into about Saturday early afternoon. Mainly around 1 p.m. we're going to see things start to fizzle out for us and be improving. But outside of it, areas just southeast of Dane County are really going to be the areas that we're watching for most highest amounts of snowfall totals. But overall, we're still going to be looking for this to be a disruptive start to our weekend. So let's get right into it. Just breaking down a few things for us. North and west of US 151. Here's what we're going to be watching for. Some light snow or flurries early into our Saturday morning. And then we're going to be mainly seeing roads just be wet to start off for our Saturday morning. It'll start to get more snow covered as we get closer to the noon hour. But from 7 to 11, that's what we're watching for our heaviest bands of snow to start to develop for us. And since it's heavy and wet and it's the middle of March, be watching for some tree or power lines. But overall, we're going to be watching for slushy roads and snow-covered roads that have brief periods, but mainly into the southeastern corridor of southern Wisconsin, where we're looking for that to be a main concern. Otherwise, things are going to just be wet for our Saturday afternoon, but relatively clear once we get into the rest of our Saturday. So for the rest of today, things are going to be quiet. Temperatures will fall just near freezing once we get into the overnight hours, and around midnight, we're going to start to see some developments of some snowfall rolling its way just south of Madison. Then as we get into around 3, 4 o'clock, it's going to start to pick up a bit more, especially to the southeastern corridor, where we're between Watertown, Janesville, and for Kenosha and Milwaukee areas. But you could note it's a very sharp cutoff for our friends to the west. So Platteville, Mineral Point might not even see snow just yet as we continue to see the shift just to the eastern side of much of southern Wisconsin. Any snow that will start to band its way over there is going to be very light and may not even accumulate much at all. So once we get into around the noon hour, we're looking for the snow in itself to continue to push a bit more easterly, and that's when it's going to start to wrap up for us here in Dane County and for around Rock County, and it's out of here by the time we get into our early Saturday afternoon. Temperatures will warm well above freezing, so we are looking for this to melt relatively quickly, and sunshine is going to start to really help out with that as well, especially for our friends just to the west. Getting into the rest of our Saturday, things are going to be relatively quiet, but we are still going to be dealing with some breezy conditions. Overnight into our Saturday, in terms of snowfall totals, looking around 3 to 6 inches around the Dane County area. Areas to the southeast, that's where we're looking again between 6 inches of snowfall. So wrapping things up for us, here's our 3 things we'll need to know. Snow is going to develop around midnight. Snow will taper off from Saturday morning, going into our early afternoon, and then it's going to be relatively chilly. Temperatures will be in the 40s through the rest of this weekend, and heading into the next work week as well, we'll start to see a bit of some warmer air coming into our Friday, bringing us near 50s, but we are also watching for potentials of seeing some thunderstorms, guys.
Wow, that's a lot, Julian. Good job. Thank you. Up next, President Biden pays an overdue visit to Canada. We'll tell you what the two leaders discussed next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
When they invented the wheel, this is exactly what they had in mind. Stay on the fun side of the bridge.
Let's play.
Every family is a little bit different, and we'd all love life to be a little bit simpler. No matter where you work or how hard you play, you need reliable appliances to help you conquer the inevitable hectic day. Whether you're optimizing space for the next great race or looking for a quiet place, Criterion appliances are ready when you are.
Oh, the weather. What's the chance of rain tomorrow?
Ooh, 80%. I make it rain. I make it rain.
Speaking of making it rain, at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, we have an average 95% payout, which leads you to more chances of playing longer and more chances to win big. Play longer, win more, chances are you're gonna like it.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Brothers Maine has been family-owned since 1938. Some of us were born into this family, and others chose to join through the years. And we know you can't replace family, but you can replace appliances, and Brothers Maine is here for you when one breaks down. Our in-house team has delivered ranges to washers to refrigerators to hectic households in a pinch, oftentimes the next day. Just because an appliance breaks down doesn't mean you have to. We're not big box. We're Brothers Maine. We want you to feel like family here.
This month, meet Madison Magazine's Chef of the Year. How Sean Farr's approachable food with a twist is redefining upscale dining. And learn the common thread that links 3 very different clothing empires. Madison Magazine, online and on newsstands now.
Want to know right now what the weather will be like tomorrow? Download the First Warn Weather app and you'll get my customized forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
The First Warn Weather app. Get it now. Powered by News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
President Biden visited with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Canada today.
The two discussed national security, immigration, and defending democratic values. Mike Valliero has more.
An overdue visit between North American next-door neighbors and gratitude from the get-go.
We're lucky. We have Canada to our north, share these values.
A Chinese spy balloon in the air and migration from the U.S. to Canada on the ground among the top orders of business as President Biden addressed Canada's parliament.
Canada and the United States have had each other's backs in war and in peace.
Today, a new agreement on immigration at America's northern border. Migrants crossing illegally into Canada coming through unofficial crossings on rural roads. Those migrants can now be turned back into the U.S. as they wait for their asylum claims to be processed.
The United States and Canada will work together to discourage unlawful border crossings and fully implement the updated Safe Third Country Agreement.
Then there's defense. The U.S. asking Canada to spend more and speed up the timeline for defense spending, including on NATO. Also, discussions on countering China, a spy balloon crossing through Canadian airspace before flying over the continental U.S., and allegations of Chinese interference in Canadian elections looming large.
There are also areas in which we're going to have to directly challenge China, whether it's on human rights, whether it's on security behaviors, whether it's on cyber attacks or concerns like that.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
A final check of your first warn forecast when we come back.
It's time to march into deer season. Get your John Deere 1025R with a 120R loader for just $195 per month. Get a John Deere now and
power up at Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
It's the Mattress Madness event at Steinhoffels. There's no better time to get your new mattress. Tempur-Pedic mattresses use next-generation cooling technology, keeping you up to 8 degrees cooler all night long. Right now, save $300 on a Tempur-Pedic Breeze, plus get $300 in Steinhoffels cash. Tempur-Pedic Queen mattresses start at just $40 per month when you use our 72-month special financing. Shop in-store or online today at steinhoffels.com.
All right, team, we got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it. 4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com. Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint, for certain.
There were severe health complications with my baby when I was pregnant. We made the decision to have an abortion so our daughter wouldn't suffer. Dan Kelly doesn't believe that women should even have that freedom. On the Supreme Court, Dan Kelly will uphold the criminal ban on abortion. Someone you love might struggle with a pregnancy like I did. And that's why we can't have an extremist like Dan Kelly on the Supreme Court.
It's time to march into deer season. Get your John Deere Gator utility vehicle with 0% for 36 months and no money down. Get a John Deere Gator now and
power up at Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
Here's Julian with one final check of the forecast.
Well, 3 things we'll need to know as we're getting into our weekend. It's going to be a snowy one, folks, so don't be deceived by today. We're looking at the snow to develop after midnight, and it's going to stick around until we get closer to the afternoon hours of our Saturday. The rest of Saturday afternoon was going to be fine, but we could still see developments of 1 to 6 inches throughout much of southern Wisconsin throughout our Saturday morning, so anticipate probably just being careful in the morning hours. Outside of that, temperatures are going to hang into the 40s for the next few days. We're looking to warm up next week, where we have another active weather pattern and potentially even some thunderstorms coming into next Friday.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Julian.
The snow will stick around.
No, it will not.
Thanks for your help this
You're
week.
welcome.
Eric will be back on Monday. News 3 Now at 6 starts right after this break.